Trying to find a good
Hi,
spot.
yeah. Welcome everyone to our live stream today. I'm Anne-Marie Wallace with the Women's Business Center of Utah, and I am thrilled to have Kim Bennett with me, one of our clients who is a business owner in Fillmore, which I'm so excited about. We're going to talk with Kim and she'll share with us about her experience. Again, Anne-Marie, I'm the State Director of the Women's Business Center of Utah. So Kim, if you don't mind, I love your bio. Is that okay if I share that with everybody? I think it would be helpful to
Yeah,
know
of
who you are. And
course.
then I'd
Hi,
love
of
for you to
course.
share a little bit more. And I got some questions for you too. All right.
Okay,
So Kim
awesome.
grew up on Black Mesa and in Kayenta, Arizona on the Navajo reservation with no electricity or
Mhm.
running water. It was like living in a third world country here in the United States, but she didn't know how different that was to other places until she left in 1997 in search of something different. She attended high school in Kayenta and graduated from Cedar City Adult High. She then
Mhm,
attended
mhm,
Southwest Applied Technical College. She's an educated woman where she
mhm,
received a business technology and accounting certification in 2010. So she has had an interest in business from a young age. So an
mhm.
entrepreneur in growth for the whole time you've been growing up. When you used to play store, I mean, didn't we all play store, but also KFC? I like that. She played store
Mhm.
at KFC often as a child and in hopes of one day owning her own business. So in November of 2019, just before the pandemic, Kim opened up her own thrift store, Kim's Trading Post in Fillmore, Utah, here in our state. She started this business because she saw a need and wanted to start this business to give back to her community. She now has and sells secondhand goods, and that those goods can stay in her community and help the people in her town. So now that I've been talking about you, I'd like to have you share a little bit more about yourself with everybody on our live stream.
My name is Kim Bennett. I am originally, like Anne Marie said, from Black Mesa, Arizona. That we call it Zithagene. And so I moved to Utah in 1997 and Fillmore in 2013. And my business is Kim's Trading Post. And I'm more of a secondhand store, thrift store, consignment shop. And I eventually want to move into a coffee shop. But so far, yes, that's my goal. That's my goal. But so far, it's just a thrift store, and more so because our donation place had gotten shut down, and there was no more place to drop off our donations, and our people in the community were taking it to the dump, and so
You're like, stop.
I, yeah, and I grew up on the reservation, and everything that they were throwing away is like, oh my God, I could use that,
Yeah.
and so I just went ahead and partnered up with a good friend and said, hey, do you want to open a thrift store? And he's like, yeah, sure. And so we jumped on board together, and it's been doing good so far. And so everybody, instead of taking it to the dump, they bring it over to us. And the best part about it is the donation stays in our community, and we get to use it. It's not like it's going on the outside of our community. So it's just
Yeah.
kind of like, it's just recycled. And so I'm pretty excited about that. And just to kind of give back in that way. And I
Absolutely.
also have the free tree, which I love because once I have too much stuff that I have just so much of that I can't do anything with it. And the reservation was not really open to a lot of things until just recently. I would put everything out in the free tree for the community to come and get,
Oh,
like clothes, shoes, dishes, books, whatever you name it, you could have it for free and just use it.
I
Yeah.
love
So
that. So you've always had that in you, just the way that you think about how to help each other and how to help people in your community. And like when
mhm,
I hear about, you're sharing your experience of, no, there's still good use in these things that maybe have hardly any use in them at all so far. I really appreciate
mhm.
that. Oh my
Well,
goodness.
I
And
grew up on,
yeah.
go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to
No,
ask
I
you
grew up on the
how you,
reservation.
please go
Oh,
ahead.
okay, but I'm sorry. I grew up on the reservation and we had like tribal clothing, and there wasn't so much out there for to give to us as kids, and it just was kind of it just kind of sucked, I guess, and and those with the kids that had like single parents, they didn't have much, and so here it's like there you go. You can have this. You can have that. Just always giving back in some way, shape, or form. And if I just hold on to all of this stuff, it gets ruined, and somebody else could have used it. So,
Right.
anywho,
Exactly.
go ahead. I'm
I love
sorry.
that. Very responsible citizen helping a lot of other people. So I have a question for you. I'm wondering how you found out about the Women's Business Center of Utah.
I found out about the Women's Business Center of Utah through Debbie Drake. Debbie Drake was my school teacher back in the day, my business teacher. And so there last year in December, or actually in October of 2019, I kind of saw myself just struggling mentally, physically, spiritually, just in the business aspect, and I remember Debbie saying, if you kids ever need help, I'm always here as a graduating student from her class. She's like, my services are here for you. And so I went ahead and called her back, and I said, I called her up and I was like, Debbie, I'm stumped. I don't even know what I'm doing. I ran this far and the pandemic, and I don't know what to do. And so and that's how she kind of just started me up. She's like, well, why don't she's like, I work for the Women's Business Center of Utah. Go through that and I will help you out. And so she has been so wonderful, just a
I am
lot.
so glad.
Like
We
just
need advocates. We need to have people help us. And every single one of us, we don't know everything about business. We have to
no.
learn it from each other and from experiences. I'm so
Mhm.
grateful. And I'm glad you mentioned Debbie. Before she came to the Women's Business Center of Utah, before we opened up our Cedar City office, she was at Southwest Technical College. So we're
Mhm.
so lucky that she was already an educator and been a
Mhm.
business owner for many years in
Mhm.
construction. She brings a
Uh-huh.
great perspective and a lot of help. I'm so glad that you found her. So what kind of things have she been able to help you with, and what have you learned from working with the center?
My finances. I really, that was one of the big things. It's like, no, I'm good. I got enough money there to cover, and she's like, no, Kim, let's look at your finances. And I kind of just pushed it off because I was trying to get a grip of the outer sides, of
Yeah.
what my store was looking like. And so we kind of just did a little bit of that, but she brought back the attention of, hey, we need to look at your finances. And it was just that time, end of the year, tax season and everything. And I'm like, okay, here goes. Because if she would have said, Kim, let me see your books, I didn't have any books. I just had receipts full of
Yeah.
folders and a box, and I would have been ashamed if she said, let me see your books. So I got it all in order and I gave it to her, and she just like went through it all and just, examined it, and just kind of, we touched base and figured out what we needed to do, what to adjust, and just gave me an overall look of where and what not to spend, my sales, my sales, and I can't even think of it right now, what I'm buying and what I'm purchasing and all of that stuff, just all of it, and I was just like, wow. And within that month, all of it just started to seem to change. I started meeting with her early, about 8 o'clock, or I think it was 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, I would get here. And I would see new customers coming in afterwards. And it just kind of like increased my customers. And so that increased my
Good.
income. And it kind of awoke in a lot of things. She talked about curbside appeal.
Oh,
Well,
that's so great.
I'm
I
a
love
thrift
that.
store. And I'm like, curbside appeal.
Yeah. Well, I love that you talked about a few things. You talked about making sure your services are right, and that's what you were concentrated on before, but
Mhm.
also bringing new people in. But that, the money that flows through the business is so critical. And
Mhm.
knowing how much you have to spend by looking at the account balance in a checking account is not the same thing as money management. And so I
No.
think a lot of people that may be listening would probably, we don't make them raise their hands, right, ladies? But
Mhm.
you're in the same boat. Like, what money management? I have my transactions, I got the cash and I sold things, but
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
having a plan for it can really make a huge difference. You can go from barely making it to be a lot
Uh-huh.
more efficient and making money, which is
Yeah.
the whole point of business, in addition to enhancing your lives.
Yeah.
So what kind of things have you learned that you like to share with others from being a business owner to help inspire them?
Um, get a good grasp of what your finances look like. If you're operating in the red, if you're operating in the black, because that way you know where you're going and what you have to work with. And if you don't know your finances from the get-go, then you're kind of like lost. And
Yeah.
and that's like really was a big point for me, was my finances and having a good accounting person. And so I was struggling with that, accounting. I mean, I took accounting, okay, but when it came down to doing my own books and turning it over to my accounting, it was a whole nother story. So it's like, know your finances, what you have, make sure you have a good accountant that you can just call and say, hey, can I do this? And where can I stick this?
Yeah.
And to have a good business coach. Debbie was amazing. Like, she would call me and she'd be like, do you need help? And I was struggling with my K1 form. What is a K1 form? I didn't know what a K1 form is. I mean,
Yeah.
I know K1 other stuff, but like I was just like, oh my gosh. But she was great. She walked me through finances, what my business should look like when people walk in, and just brought a lot of light to it. But I think what I would say is finances.
That's
Look at
so
your
that's
finances.
so great to hear, because it really is so critical, and your story is in some ways very similar to many of our business owners. Even some of us who work here, we own businesses too. And
Uh-huh.
it's not easy, but it's definitely the things that you need to learn. And our business coaching, our advising, we have, let me count right now, including our contract advisors, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. I think we have 7 advisors right now. Ladies, we've never had that many before. It's because there's a great need. And you don't have to know everything, but someone can help you, even if it's just looking at your finances to say, here's some things that you might want to look at,
Mm-hmm.
once a month, and make sure they're within, these certain, variations. But we're here to help you. And Kim didn't mention this, and I didn't either yet, but it's free. We don't charge for these services. We are
Exactly.
partially funded by the SBA. So your federal taxpayer dollars are flowing through our center to help make sure that we can afford our 7 advisors and other employees. But please know that we're here to help you, whatever
And
the area of business is.
And I
Kim, is
was
there
telling
anything
the
else you want to
ladies
share?
that, no, I was telling the other ladies that in our community, and I try to promote you guys as Women's Business Center of Utah. I'm a recovering alcoholic addict. I've been sober since March 27, 2017. And so, like, I need a coach for everything. You know what I mean? And my business is what I strive to be. And that's why one of the reasons why I do what I do today, is because I've been at the bottom, and to be where I'm at today, it's like by the grace of God. There go I. And so I'm happy and just so thankful that you guys were a big part of helping me to explore more and to do more. So thank you. Like,
Oh, well, thank
seriously,
you for
thank
being
you.
such an inspiration and a good business owner. We love getting to know our business owners and serving those around us, because we are mission-based. We're a charitable nonprofit, and we're here to help Kim and every other woman who wants to be a business owner in our state or already is a business owner. So we want to mention really quickly, we have a business directory that we've launched. If you haven't been on our social media, you should be able to go back and see a lot of it already. But we launched the Utah Women, see, the guy got it right, Utah Women-Owned Business Directory at utahwomenowned.com. It's a directory for any woman-owned business. I should probably clarify. Owner-operated business. So Kim owns it and operates it. She controls it. She can be on the directory. It's also free, and we'll be promoting it in our local counties, cities, as well as statewide, into organizations looking to buy from women-owned businesses. And when we get near to the holidays, we'll be promoting Small Business Saturday as buy local and buy women-owned. So you can find that at utahwomenowned.com. You can find information in the chat. We're going to put in the chat Kim's contact information. If you're in Fillmore, if you're driving through Fillmore, stop by her place. It's a woman-owned business, and that's what we want to support right now. So thank you so much, Kim, for joining us. I really had a good time getting to know you. I got to get to know you a few months ago, but I'm so glad to talk with you again. So please know, ladies, that Kim is a woman-owned business, and she also, if you ever want to know her story or get to know her a little bit more about being a business owner, she's available too. So,
and recovery. If you want help in recovery, let me
all
know. I don't struggle alone in addiction. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There is help, and that's my big.
Exactly.
That's a big part of me. So.
Good. Well, you're a giver, and we really appreciate that. So thanks, everyone, for joining us. We'll have another live stream soon, but please, again, I'm grateful for Kim's time and all of you. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Okay, thanks. Bye, Ann. Bye.